Okay? I love her, but some days I just want to, you know what I'm saying, just grab her throat real quick. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck up. And I love my kids. I have a 22-year-old, I got a 17-year-old, but they smart dumb. You know what I'm saying? Smart dumb. Like, my daughter speaks 3 languages. English, Japanese, and Spanish. We left the store the other day. And she's standing there and she's like, oh, Mom, they can tell you how tall you are at the store. I was like, that's for when you steal. Okay? That's for when you steal. She's stupid. Dumb smart. I'm from Oklahoma. You know, y'all know about storms, right? I'm telling my kids to get ready for the storm. My 22-year-old, he's like, I'm getting ready. He gets out tea lights. I said, are you setting the mood? What are you doing? He gets tired. He's like, Mom, I'm going to go lay down. I'm like, okay. He goes and lays down. And all of a sudden, the lights flash. He runs back in there and he's like, Mom, did you pay the light bill? I said, baby, you don't flash the lights and tell you that the bill is due. Like, what? What is wrong with you? Like, is it me failing or is it the school system? Like, what is...
I was laughing. You lucky I was playing that because I was laughing, man. that one is hilarious. Welcome to Skrilltown Talk. I'm your host, Mr. Skrilltown himself, and tonight we have the lovely, the funny Sondra Slade. What's going on, Sandra?
Not much. You know, that's real life. Everybody like, how do you come up? I said, that's life. That's this life. That's
most definitely life. Yeah, it's most definitely life. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad to have you on tonight. And thank you for this opportunity. I know you have a super busy schedule. You continuing to make people laugh all over the state of Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? I like how you rep that. I got a lot of family in Oklahoma and OKC and Tulsa. So yeah, we appreciate it.
Up in a 918, 405.
918. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about Sandra. She is a versatile entertainer renowned for her talents as a stand-up comedian, compelling storyteller, and exceptional host, infused with her Afro-Indigenous heritage. As a humorist for, what'd you say?
Started on the indigenous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We have to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
It says, as a humorist for focused Black Oklahoma, she brings a unique perspective to shed light on important social issues while captivating audiences with her wit and insight. Additionally, serving on a committee for the Blue Whale Comedy Festival and a proud Moth alumni, Sandra ensures marginalized voices are celebrated through a diverse lineup of comedic talent. That's a lot. That's a lot. Beyond her comedic endeavors, she pioneers community engagement through ageless laugh lines, fostering intergenerational connections and using laughter as a catalyst for positive social change. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I know, man. Yeah. So well, thanks again. And like I said, with all that going on, tell us a little bit about how you got started in comedy.
I did not try to. I actually saw this ad about it was a variety show, and they said burlesque dancers, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Never tried it in my life except in my own room, and I was like, I can do that. And I got to the tryouts, and I just started talking to the guy, and he asked what I was going to do, and I said, oh, burlesque. He said, why don't you try stand up? And I was like, okay. I was crushed, but I was just like, no, I'm gonna do it. So that night I had another function for this church organization with Alzheimer's, and I was dressed in African clothing, my fela dots and everything. And when I got there, no one was dressed like I was, and so people started to take pictures with me. And I am an ambivert. I'm an introvert that can do extroverted things, and I was freaking out. And you know how church people be that nice nasty.
Yeah.
So I left there a little upset to go to the thing, and the guy said, "Won't you just get on stage and talk about what just happened?" And I did, and I won the contest, and that's how I got into comedy. I didn't get to do burlesque.
Yeah, hey, this works out even better. That's crazy. So you just got
Now
up
I
there
host
like it was
burlesque.
nothing. Dang. So how long was you on stage like at that moment?
Ooh, I actually looked at the clip like a year ago, and I was on stage 10 minutes, and it didn't feel like it because I was just talking about the experience. I know the difference now. I know the difference now.
Right.
But I was on stage for 10 minutes, and the judges immediately when you get done, they judge you, and I was like, oh yeah, that was intense. It was intense, and I freaked out because I was like, no, I'm done.
Is that the video that's on YouTube that I think I seen with? I think you had on like an orangish color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, I wouldn't have never known that you just got up there and kind of improv it. That is crazy. Yeah.
You know how church people be, girl. Oh, look at you, bless your heart. Oh, honey. Oh, you look cute though. You know, just a whole bunch of
Right.
like, oh, okay.
Compliments. Yeah.
Sideline compliments. Like, you didn't really mean that, man.
Right. You ain't really, yeah. What you thinking in the back of your mind? You telling me this, but what you thinking in the back of your mind?
Yeah. Like they got that Martin Luther King fan going, like, I see you.
So now you've been doing it. How long have you been doing it now?
I say about 6 years. I don't count COVID. I don't count COVID. I just 2020. That's a wrap.
You didn't do nothing. Yeah. Did you do any of those Zoom stand-ups? I heard about those, like Zoom stand-ups during COVID.
I did some of them, and I liked them hanging out with my friends because we would hang out and talk, but not really because you don't get the crowd. You know, people can LOL, but I don't. You know, as an entertainer, you got to feel the energy from the crowd. And I tell people all the time, I said, people feed off of you. If you negative, we're going to feed off of that too. I said, but if you don't like a comedian, just stay silent. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't talk back. Stay silent. Like, you talking back to me? Oh, I ain't even got to use material. Now I'm just keep talking to you. Like, okay.
Yeah. See, and that's so. How have you gotten better? Like, you know, what has helped you progress in the 6 years of you being a comedian? Like, how have you continued your education and becoming a better comedian?
Studying. I really attribute everything that I have been doing right now to my mentor, Lavelle Vale. He was a instrumental comic here in Oklahoma.
Like Crawford, Lavelle?
Yeah.
Really?
No, Lavelle Harris. Wrong one.
Oh, Lavelle Harris. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And he mentored him. That's the funny thing. It was very instrumental. He got me started doing comedy in churches, and to that standpoint, I think that helped me a lot to know that he said if you can do comedy in the church, you can do comedy anywhere else. You can add curse words, but you can't. It's hard to take away. So it's helped me as far as being able to host, as far as being able to write, as myself as a comedian, just surrounding myself with actual people, a good group of comedians. I mean, I have a very small clique of comedians I'm with, but people that aren't comedians, because they will tell my friends they my friends, they not fans. You know,
right.
Like, oh, that joke was funny when you told it over here. It didn't hit nowhere. And I take it like, oh, okay, you're right. Let me change up. So I'm always surrounded by people that want you to level up. So.
Yeah. So is it harder to which crowd is harder, church crowd or a regular secular crowd?
Church, because when you're drinking, I'm funny. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking. You know, when you stand there with your fan and you've been in the heat time, listen to the pastor for 2.5 hours, you ready to go home.
That funny.
That funny. So they're harder, but it's actually at the end of the day, it's a lot more supportive. I feel like a lot more supportive.
So do you think with the church crowd versus the secular crowd, is it easier to be a comedian and cuss, or is it harder to not cuss at the church?
Oh, at the church, I don't cuss.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it harder to not cuss, or is it easier to cuss?
For me, it's easier to curse. It's harder to not curse. In a way, it's harder to think of something that's funny that you don't have to use profanity. Anybody can curse. you know, you can use. I mean, I'm not down to curse words because I use them. Okay, trust me, I do. But it's easier to throw a curse word, and you can throw a curse word in at the end of something.
Mm-hmm.
And you can add swearing at the beginning and the middle. I said, but when you think about it, like Jim Gaffigan is a fun comedian, never curses. And people are like, oh, I didn't notice. And I said, and that's what you don't notice. I was like, you'll hear a curse word in it, you'll retain it, but when you're just talking, that's a little bit harder. That takes more of a skill to do.
Wow. So how do you prepare for your improv comedy or, you know, stand up like normally?
Improv scares me. I do it, but I scare. Okay, so I'm gonna shock you real quick. Okay. This is my note card.
What in the world? Oh my God.
So, for me, okay, because I'm old school. I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm old school. I got my glasses. I write.
What in this? That look like
before I go on stage, just kind of retain, and that's me. That's old school. Some people put it on their phone. I prefer to just have it. I'm supposed
right
to
in front of you.
I just ain't got to it, but that's what I do. I mean, I love to write. And it also helps me when I write stories for Focus Black Oklahoma. It also helps me write because I'm writing it out, and that I'm old school writer. You know, I still get books with the pages, and so that's what helps me is sitting, writing, and getting by myself a little bit, and people watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah, people watching. Yeah, that will be. Yeah, well, I see that you incorporated your kids into a couple of the jokes. You know, that's a lot easier, right? Oh, my bad.
They looking for money. Like, did you use me as a part of a joke?
They want some residuals.
Yeah, I said, didn't you turn on that cell phone? Okay, then you good. You good.
Right. We even.
Did you eat today? Okay, then my joke did what it did. But
right. So
I mean, it's if you have kids, you every day you winging it. Somebody's like, well, how do you be the best parent? I said, learn how to juggle and wing at the same time. That's it. I'm like, so I love it that my kids have helped me unknowingly. Sometimes I'm just like, and some days they funny. Like my son has great comedic timing. Like, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, well, only one of us getting paid right now, so I need you to, hold that.
Right. He gonna be your ghostwriter. That's what that is. Like, yeah.
And I would be so scared.
Be your ghostwriter. You're gonna be like, come over here and hook me up with like 10 minutes of jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my kids got them on me all day. All day.
See, don't get them to get them started.
Yeah,
shut you down. Kids will shut parents down easily because they remember everything. They, they watch us and stuff like that. So they will most definitely. You get them in a room with their friends, and they roasting us all the time anyway.
Yeah, I don't even enter the room. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I don't even want to hear the comments. Yeah.
So always.
Go ahead.
How would you say?
No, I was saying my daughter. I think the first time her friend saw me on stage, I was doing something. And she's like, yeah, that's my mom. And then walked off, and I was like, cool, all right, then. Like, I don't feel hurt. Like, okay. I'm just out here in front of a couple thousand people. It don't matter. All right, then, you need some money. Like, I felt like nobody. I said, cool.
Right, yeah. She's like, cool, all right.
Yeah, they keep you real humble. Like, yeah, it don't matter. Okay, you're right.
That's funny. So tell us about this Focus Black Oklahoma.
Focus Black Oklahoma is a NPR show. It is on KOSU Tulsa, KOSU, the form of NPR and National Public Radio. We have won an Emmy. We do hard-hitting news that is community-based, community-driven. Like we actually boots on the ground citizen journalists doing it. My job is to bring some humor to the side of it. I have a degree in communications. I do some stories every now and then, but mostly I'm focused on doing funny stories. And it's just stories about my childhood, my kids, life in general. And that is on every third Friday and Sunday. But we do that. It's a podcast. It's also on live on it's 2 different radio stations, and I don't have them locked in my head. But you can find it on Focus Black Oklahoma. But that's what I do. It's just kind of all that hard hitting news. Sometimes you need a little little
Yeah, a
soft.
little lightning. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And so are these scripted or you just kind of play it by ear?
My
How much
stories
time
are
do you get?
my stories are usually 5 minutes long. 5 minutes. So it just kind of rounds out the day. The news is usually an hour, say 45 minutes, and then I round it out with the 5 minutes of funny at the end.
Mm,
So
okay. So I read in there in your bio about you being Afro-Indigenous. Tell us a little bit about that. That's the first time I've ever heard that before.
really, and
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about taking that out. I really am.
Oh,
Okay. Oh,
no.
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because when you
Okay.
say Afro, everybody like Afro. I'm like, I don't have no Afro. I'm like, I don't have Afro. They be like Afro, and they're like, you ain't got no Afro though. But I had to kind of think about that term. I had a burlesque dancer that's a friend of mine, Raven Rose, and
Hmm.
she that's in her bio. And so we were talking about it. She was like, "Well, aren't you indigenous too?" And I said, "Yeah." I never think to put that on my bio. I mean, I never walk on stage and say, "Hey, I'm a black woman. I'm
Hmm.
a
Right.
Native woman." I never walk on stage, but people are checking boxes when you walk on stage or in any platform.
Hmm.
And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Oh, that term does mean both sides." That
Hmm.
does utilize my heritage. And I was like, okay. And then it becomes another label, like, oh, or then of course, how black are you? How native are you? I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't draw all the blood out. I just
Right. Right.
and then so for me, it's important because not necessarily all of us as African Americans are recognized as Native and how that looks. And in the diaspora of colored people, like
Hmm.
it's shades. It's all different shades of everything. So
Yeah.
it becomes like, what does that look like? And I've had people walk up to me in the middle of a Native fashion show while I'm getting ready to model and ask me, "What tribe are you with?
Mm.
Slap a hoe? Color?" And then they get quiet, and I'm like, okay, But I've
Yeah.
fortunately I've been around some other natives that when they heard that, they said, "Well, you don't know if I'm Hispanic." And
Hmm.
it made people, the person that said made them stop and think like, you thought it was okay to come up and ask that question. Was
Yeah.
it? Do you normally
Right.
walk up to people and ask them what was their heritage? I was like, you normally don't on a daily basis.
Hmm.
So yeah. So I think to
Mm.
me it's important in Oklahoma to be identified as that also, just to let people know that all natives don't look like natives that you see, and all natives, all people that are not natives, not
Hmm.
like you see. So labels be
Mm.
whatever. So
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's a lot of indigenous people down there. But
hmm
that was the first time I've heard it called that versus Native American.
hmm
And I don't know, what's really the difference, and that's probably on me because I'm also indigenous, and that's
hmm
why I said like I have a lot of family from Oklahoma that are indigenous, but yeah, it's something that, like you said, to speak about and to educate, especially our children and stuff, because I guarantee my kids don't have a clue, but on both sides of my family, I have that. So yeah, that was just interesting when I read it. I was like, oh, okay, what's this all about? But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And with you being down there, like, and how is it like when it comes to that support from both sides, being a strong black woman, doing entertainment and business and stuff like that with that background.
Um, it's been somewhat different. And I won't say in a bad way.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Normally, when I walk in rooms in corporate America, I'm the only me I see. Period. So
Yeah.
then I can only blend with the women. But a lot of
Mm.
times when I walk in native areas, such as I've done a couple of native comedy shows, I've been in fashion shows from young
Hmm.
natives. I don't even get a second look. Hey sis, well, what you need? My thankfully one of my high school classmates, she's designed a dress for me that actually she designed the fabric and the dress that incorporated Afro-Indigenous, African
Mm.
and Indigenous, and everybody loved the fabric. And I said, and we were sitting there thinking like we never thought that was an odd thing. She
Hmm.
never thought it was odd and for someone to look like me to be native.
Right.
But a lot of times, white presenting natives do kind of are off put by me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm here because we was married. Why are you here? Just
Right,
like,
right.
like would your answer look back and be okay with you sitting here in the native clinic? That's real talk. Like
Mm-hmm.
with the history, but then then it goes deeper to that because being part Creek also, Creeks own slaves. So it becomes a whole wrap of I tell people all the time, I feel like I've been on two streets.
Yeah.
Both of them, they may not intersect, but they overlap some ways. With Native population being driven away from where they are, African Americans being shipped away from their homeland. Both cultures losing things between their languages, their customs, and their traditions, but also finding the resiliency to go on. You know what I'm saying? On both sides. So it's different.
It is, sounds different. And see, when you get down there and everybody knows where different parts of the country are known for, and we all know that Oklahoma and New Mexico have areas that are strong with Native American, but you really don't think about it like, how, and, so that makes a lot of sense. And with that being said, it's like you said, you do comedy for comedy, not just because I'm this, that, and the other. If they, you want to be represented, but at the same token, you doing it because you just want to be a good comedian. I would say.
Oh yeah. I mean, I want to make you laugh. Sometimes I do make, a lot of times in my humor, I do make people think because I'm like, we can laugh because I love me some Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney. He jokes, but he was like, "This is what it said. I said it is," and I'm like, you can make people laugh and make them think at the same time. Kind of check this.
Yeah. So do you like routinely? Are you doing monthly? Are you doing weekly comedy? How are you doing it to stay consistent in your area?
The writing for Focus Black Oklahoma is one. I mean, that helps me stay just as a comic writing and thoroughly engaged. I host a lot of shows. I just hosted our HBCU weekend this past weekend. That's HBCU weekend celebrating historically Black colleges and universities. So I did that. I went to the powwow this morning. So it's like doing different things. I have a monthly show. It is in Claremore. It's a clean show in a brewery, at Cabin Boys Brewery. So it's a clean show. So you can bring your kids. If you bring your kids when you drink, that's fine. I say that's a white people thing. I ain't drinking. My son is 20. He'll be 23. I'm like, we ain't drinking in the club.
You still ain't drinking with him at 23?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
No. I might serve him a drink in the house, but we're not gonna be outside turning up. No, that's not
right.
We just happened to be at this mixer, and it wasn't alcohol wasn't involved. And I was there with my friends, and he ran into me, and I was like, "What you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm about to go because I ain't."
Right.
He was like, "Mom, I'm cool." And then I was like, "Oh, we know the same people." I was like, "No, I'm out."
Yeah, you gotta take the mama hat off when y'all together like that. You can't take it off.
I couldn't take it off. I couldn't. And then he introduced me to his girlfriend, and I was like,
"Oh,
yeah." And I was like, "Oh, hey, Howard. Yeah, this is not my normal." Yeah, it is. What's up, girl? You know what I'm saying? Like, we just look like real alright. So.
Well, you want her to come out to the shows too, so you got to be cool at least for a little bit, until they break up.
A little bit. Like I don't invite them to regular shows. They're welcome to my clean shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they don't want to hear the other shows. Yeah.
No. Yeah. I actually was in the midst of. I invited my cousins to come to the show, and. It was in smoke, cold, dirty. I knew the guys was gonna get real grungy with it. And I got on stage after listening to a whole bunch of guys. Okay, I'm gonna come with it.
Yeah, you got to now.
Yeah, in the middle of a dick joke, I turned and I was asking my mama, and I was like, and then I'm just standing there like. That's my mama. And I turned and I finished the joke, my set, did what I need to do, got off stage. And I was like, I said, I'm gonna hear it. And she was like, no, people laugh, baby. You was funny. And then she left. I was like, we ain't really talking about it. Like, we ain't gonna
talk about it ever again.
No, we not.
Did you know she was gonna be there?
No, I did not invite her. My cousins thought it was hilarious. Like, watch this. I like, cool. Wow.
Yeah. She came for the grimy stuff. She probably didn't know you was performing.
She did. She did.
Oh,
she did.
Okay.
I don't tell her where unless I want her to go. So
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's funny.
I still want to be able to have brunch with my mama and not, be sitting there and waiting on her to pop me. You always. So
she bring up that old joke that you said, that night. Tell me a little bit. Where'd you find that at? Like, I didn't think that one was funny.
Yeah. Which is hilarious because my mom's favorite comedian is Cat Williams.
Oh yeah, super grimy.
Yeah, but she can't hear it from her daughter. I'm like, okay, cool.
That's funny.
Yeah, and Cat Williams, you owe me some money because I done paid for my mama to come see you. I feel some kind of way about that.
Did he show up? Is the question. Like,
he showed up. He enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm like, as long as she enjoyed it, that's what.
Yeah, he a good comedian. I like Cat Williams a lot. So tell us about a time where you've been heckled and how you handled it.
Ooh, this lady, I guess thought, and it wasn't a bad heckle. It was like she was an amen and sister. Amen. I'm like, baby, we can talk later all day. I said the rest of these people came to listen. We can amen. I got some better stories to tell you off the stage. We're not gonna keep going. So I just handled it like, and then afterwards we talked for a little bit. I have had guys that say stuff while I say stuff on stage. I'm like, please don't try me with this mouth because I'm gonna tell you it's lethal, and they'll keep going and say something. Oh, I'm gonna see you afterwards. No, I see you now, and it ain't worth looking later. So keep on. So sometimes it's you listen to how they talk to you. Like sometimes they want to be part of the show, and sometimes they just want to be highlighted for a moment and move on.
Yeah.
But I don't get mad at the audience because if it wasn't for them, I'd just be sitting there doing comedy by myself.
So how did you prepare for, like, is it something that you do or you learn to prepare for that heckling? Because I've talked to several comedians and they all handle it differently, but it's kind of like up the same range of how you do it, where you just kind of blend it in and you talk about it for a quick second, then you get right back on course.
Yeah, you give them a little shine for a minute and you move on, depending on the person. If they're real loud, I don't even address you because you just want to be loud. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, oh, so you was the slow kid in class. And then you move on, because then everybody laughing at them and not with them. And then it becomes different. So it's not really a way to prepare. You just got to have a sharp tongue and be ready to do stuff like that. And that's experience. That's also growing up in a Black household. Like say something why ain't nobody talking to you. Okay.
Right.
This ain't for you. And so
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you got coming up for the rest of the year, like as far as comedy.
Right now I am preparing for the Blue Whale Comedy Festival. It is a festival in Tulsa. It's the 22nd through the 20. They say the 24th is actually to the 25th. And we have comedy shows, at least 3 comedy shows every night. You can get a weekend pass. You can get a day pass. We have over 70 comedians, local comedians, national comedians, and headliners. So each night at Lowdown, at Kane's Sideshow, at Kane's Ballroom, at Chimera, all downtown in Oklahoma, in Tulsa. Oklahoma.
Yeah, Tulsa.
In Tulsa, yeah. In Tulsa, you get, the comedy clubs here still have comedy shows, but we have at least 3 shows. And I'm saying at a minimum, 3 shows each night. Starting at 5, you get to see, I think it's like 20 local comics, and then they have headliners at Lowdown. They have headliners at Kane's Sideshow, Bob's Sideshow room. We have headliners in Chimera. So it is just a full festival of comedy. All different forms of comedy. On Saturday, we have comedy starting at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. So we have a chef show that people get up and they have to cook while telling a joke and entertaining the audience. It's hilarious. Like I tried to make it real cheese and do comedy and talk, and I was like, you know what? This is above my wheelhouse. I can't.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, the mom in the kitchen. I'm like, I'm cooking and y'all talking. Hush. So I can do it. So it's that's pretty big. I have a native show in Tahlequah on August 24th. And that's a really big show. That is Res Jams. Res Jams puts on at least 3 or 4 shows every year, and they have 4 or 5 native comics, and we get up and we do our thing, good 15-20 minutes a piece. Then after that, I will be at the Looney Bin for a couple of spots. I know for Shelly Belly.
Yeah, that's my girl, Shelly Belly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's been a great mentor to me. Like and I appreciate it. She pulled me to the side and was like, "Let me tell you some real talk." And that's helped me a lot as a comedian too, because people don't realize. It's like, we make people laugh. Every day is not giggles for us.
Right.
You sit there and you look like, I ain't getting picked. I'm feeling a certain way. And she's helped me pick my face up off the ground, kick my butt a little bit when I needed to, and just set me on the right path. So I'm so appreciative of her. So I will be opening for her when she comes here. I open for her in Little Rock.
Nice.
And then I will be playing. I'll be playing Mrs. Claus again at the Gathering Place.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like I told Shelly and a couple others, eventually I'm gonna try to establish a platform here to bring y'all here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Especially you, because you really close. Shelly is, a little bit further south, but you and a couple others, y'all super close. I'm like, Kansas City need to hear y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what
Kansas City got them burnt ends that I used to like. So
I just had some last night, and I was telling somebody about how we created the burn ends. Kansas City created the burn ends. But
I remember getting my dad used to have, those campers on the back of the little trucks. My dad had, when we have our relatives up there, and we would go up there, and that's what I remember is going to get burnt ends. And I was like, I used to, when I lived in Atlanta, I tried to tell somebody about it. And they're like, y'all was poor, and I was like, you don't understand. That's not.
Yeah, that's real beef. That's they don't know. Like they don't know. That's brisket.
They don't know.
But yeah, okay. Yeah, see, now we talking. Yeah, well, most definitely, Sandra. We're gonna have to have you in Kansas City representing Tulsa. Like I said, I'm about to tell my uncle about the Blue Whale Comedy Festival. I know he'll love to go out to that because he's out that way. But most definitely, and we, like I said, once again, we appreciate it. The time with you. I will say that this will be rebroadcasted on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So that'll be cool. And then, like I said, Sandra, just keep doing what you do, and we'll stay in contact. Do you have anything else for the listeners as far as where they can find you at online?
Everything is Sondra Slade, Sondra. People always get Sandra wrong. I'm like, it's not. My mama's name was Barbara, so she ain't do nothing special. So it's Sondra Slade. It took her 7 days to come up with Sandra. I'm like,
oh man.
Like, they didn't have no drugs back then, so
you didn't leave your mom out these jokes though, man. You didn't put like 4 jokes together with your mom in them already.
Because she done heard them. She just look at me on the side. I'm like, you got 2 grandkids. Look, I did my job. That's the same.
Yeah.
But they can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. It's Sondra, just Sondra Slade. Look, I usually put up clips usually on Monday to get us through the week because it'd be hard out here. I work a regular job. It'd be hard out here some days. You just need
it. And what's the name of the station that Focus Black Oklahoma's on?
It's on KOSU, but you can type in on Facebook Focus Black Oklahoma, and it has a link to the podcast so you can hear the stories from there. Sometimes they put them on Facebook. It just depends the nature of the story. We did a story on women in weed, and of course they did not want Mark didn't want that on there. So
okay. Well, that's you can only do what you can do.
Yeah, Facebook be like, we free, but we gonna lock you down at the same time.
Hating.
Hating. I like you, but you don't do this. Oh, okay. I'm thankful. I've been in Facebook jail 1 time.
I've been twice, I think. Yeah.
But one time. Yeah. But I slid at the Instagram, and I was like, cool. Don't worry about
it. See? And they all connected, but they try to play us. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Real jail. Instagram like juvie, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We gonna
that's
let
like
you
halfway house.
Yeah, halfway house. You know what I'm saying? Like I see you. And then TikTok be like, man, we the world, dude. We all outside. Let's do this. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
they keeping it outside. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Sandra. We will talk again soon, hopefully.
All right.
And you enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
It's been
thank
great.
you. Yep, and for all the viewers that tuned in, we appreciate it. Like I said, continue to stay tuned in for all the Women in Entertainment podcast series. It'll be going on all summer long. Make sure you check out Sandra on all social media platforms and check her out on the Focus Black Oklahoma. I almost said Black KC. So see now you really gonna have to you have to come now because you get my words mixed up now. So yeah.
Well, I want to shout out to you for doing Women in Entertainment because I really appreciate that because a lot of times, and I say it on stage and I tell people, I said, you know, a lot of times it's usually 4 guys and it's 1 woman on the stage. It's usually, you know, if that, and they usually put us women up first as if we're not funny. I'm like, we date men. We funny. We gotta take it. You know, we out here we dealing with kids and men, so we take it. But I appreciate a platform for women in entertainment because a lot of times we get overlooked. So I really do appreciate this.
Yep, I always say without y'all, it wouldn't be no us. So you know what I'm saying? Like we
say that.
So yeah, but yep, we will talk soon, Sandra. Keep making people laugh out there, and we will holler later.
All right, thank you.
All right, check it out. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Like a lonely road when you're all alone. Just stay focused, stay in your zone, gotta keep control. You can't love nobody else if you can't love yourself. To change your future, be willing for single change yourself. I'm on a positive vibe. I got a positive vibe. Stay strong, keep persevering. Live a positive vibe.